cyclical crises experienced by 3 African neighboring countries, Burundi, Rwanda, and DRC, have always had effects that ripple from one country to neighboring countries. There is a persistence of mutual accusations between the 3 countries over security unrest. The accumulation of all the unresolved or poorly resolved problems, as well as the context of political and economic competition, which still pushes towards multilateral security-type violence in the 3 countries. These factors are at the root of endless violence of all kinds: political instability, wars and insecurity caused by hundreds of armed groups, contested electoral processes, and economic instability, which have the consequences: massive population displacement, trauma, and extreme poverty. This region has experienced and continues to experience situations of conflict and violence at the community, national, and regional level. As a result, we observe cases of gender-based violence within households, cases of political intolerance, cases of social injustice following corruption and fanaticism, cases of economic embezzlement, cases of manipulation, political identity, cases of trauma, and even mental illness and customary power exploited by politicians, etc. These situations give as consequences, at the community level, the existence of military movements, the dislocation of families, violence between young people affiliated to different political parties and different social groups, the violation of human rights, the isolation of some others, low household income, community frustrations, targeted killings, and civil wars. Following the various crises that the Great Lakes region has experienced, we have realized that churches and Christian ministries who are in the right position to repair relationships, heal trauma and wounds, don't possess nonviolent strategies for challenging injustice that lead to direct violence. They don't have knowledge on how to change the structural conditions that lead to structural violences. As consequences, we observe now a depravity of morals, the lack of respect for life and human dignity, and the degradation of moral and traditional values vis-à-vis the sanctity of human life. Violence has been set up as a mode of political claim or repression in violation of national and international legal standards. There is a lack of institutions that promote social and economic justice. The whole region is still having divided societies, and structural violences are causing more suffering and death. For this reason, democracy, the principles of pluralism and human rights, and the bodies that ensure social and economic inclusion and development must be integrated into the fabric of our societies in order to prevent and heal our countries. Church leaders who have more legitimacy should promote these values and principles in their communities and countries, since peace education and theology of peace help people learn about positive values and norms that can eradicate structural violence to bring about positive peace and peace. Education can help heal people's trauma. GLPI has decided to contribute to the fighting of structural violence through the integration of peace education and theology of peace. In the work of churches and Christian ministries, by equipping Africa Great Lakes leaders on biblical peacebuilding. To achieve this objective, GLPI has strengthened the existing network of churches and Christian ministries, which is already collaborating with GLPI. strengthen the existing youth clubs in 20 schools, Gitega, Bujumbura, and Muramvya, initiated by GLPI. Introduce peace clubs in 10 new schools and train 20 facilitators from the Democratic Republic of Congo and 20 facilitators from Rwanda who will help us to initiate peace clubs and introduce the approach of fighting structural violence through theology of peace in their respective countries.
Madame Abigail Bitondo Aimé, en provenance de la RDC à Uvira. Je suis artisan de paix, coordinatrice d'une organisation dénommée GAD et servante de Dieu. Je participe à cet atelier, cette formation portant sur le fondement biblique pour la consolidation de la paix et la résolution des conflits. Oui, pour moi, c'est une bonne formation parce que ça va nous aider à connaître les fondements bibliques sur base desquels nous allons nous appuyer pour consolider la paix.
Thank you so much. My name is Lilios Mukanabula. I'm from Rwanda. I'm happy to be here for this training qui va jusqu'au 1er décembre. My expectation to this training is about understanding about the peace building and how can help community, society to manage their conflict.
"60 church leaders and Christian ministers who are members of Synergy have a common biblically based training manual on fighting structural violence, taught in their 30 sponsored schools to an estimated 30,000 youth, if we consider an overage of 500 youth per school. 60 teachers and 30 head teachers have gained capacity strengthening in biblical foundations for peace building and how to fight against structural violence in schools and in communities at large, and are promoting that knowledge to 30 peace clubs from their respective schools.
Ibintu bibaye ibintu bimeze uko byose bihinduka babi sivyo Babarundi niko bameze ntawe usaba ngo ngere bibiza ngo c'est comme ça. Et souvent nous les Burundais tous les forts mu kwivuga nabi barimo bitse barimo twabana turi fort mu kwivuga nabi iyo bimaze kugira gutyo donc n'igihugu mfuta kigikunze kiba ko le pays kiba kiriko amajambo menshi bumva ko le pays est devenu sale. Sivyo bumva ico gihugu utakina gikunze sinzi ko twumvikana. Et c'est comme ça ko abantu twonona notre propre communauté.
40 trainers from Rwanda and DRC have gained advanced course on Theology of Peace, offered by GLPI's Peacebuilding Institute, and are introducing biblically based peace teaching in at least 40 schools from GLPI's working area in the region.
GLPI's methodology was of equipping churches, ministries, and their sponsored schools with principles and the tools of biblical non-violence in order to face social justice. Our main approach was peace education of youth and capacity strengthening of church and Christian ministries leaders in fighting structural violence through theology of peace.
On the other side, we consider this approach to be the most effective because peace education clubs have a mandate to help youth realize that they have the opportunity to use their talent for positive change. That is why it's essential that youth are exposed for an early age to importance and effectiveness for education, peaceful conflict resolution, and the use of non-violence, which is very effective alternative to violence. As youth exposed to violence are at risk of growing up, they therefore thereby reducing their ability to contribute positively to the well-being of society. And as education plays a key role in the life of the human person, the opportunity to learn the values of peace must be offered to youth.